Hello, my name is Mr. Maurer, and I am the teacher in charge of running the Alcoa Eagle Eye to the World school project, in which this year we've been able to connect with 8 other schools from around the world, from Netherlands, Canada, Texas, North Carolina, and Illinois. And as the students have been working collaboratively online, and also my students have been working within our own classroom for a bald eagle showcase that we just had on Monday, March 18th. We've really been excited watching these bald eagles, and especially the two eaglets that have hatched. And so what I'm attempting to do here with this video is there's a lot of excitement yesterday with the eagle nest, and I just wanted to shed some light on some things that we're learning, share our knowledge and information. And I thought the best way to do that was to record my voice over some feeding sessions from yesterday, which was Tuesday, March 19th, 2013. And so while you're watching the Liberty and Justice Feed the Two Eaglets, I just wanted to update people with what we're learning, what we're thinking, and hopefully this will spawn some more conversation and help with the crowdsourcing of people sharing their information and knowledge with us. We've had a great outpouring of people sharing facts and links and articles, either through the Alcoa comment section, through email, or through our own project page as well. So it's been really, really exciting. I guess one of the cool things that we've seen or noticed so far, and I saw this yesterday in the comments, I think by John Ritchie shared it, was that before the eaglets have hatched, there's about 100 to 300 people viewing the camera each day, and since the hatching, they've been sitting between 800 and to 1,000. And I just wanted to share that our own project page, the eagleeyecamera.wikispaces.com, kind of had the same trend. We were averaging about 100 visitors a day, not a whole lot, but enough to keep the kids excited to know that people were checking out their information. But since the eaglets have hatched, we've been sitting over 1,200 visitors a day, and that's been super exciting. And the kids have really enjoyed the idea that people are really looking at their work. So I wanted to record over the day 4 footage because it was really exciting. When we looked into the nest, we were able to see that there was 4 fish in there, a rabbit, and then a black blob, which we later identified as being a coot, thanks to some help on the comment threads and things like that. And so this is all new territory for us, and to watch them have that rabbit where the spine was showing and all that good stuff was incredibly exciting. You get a little bit of the gross out factor, but the fascination really begins. Why did it come to the nest that way? How do you catch a rabbit? And then it spawns into the fish. How in the world does an eagle fly in the air, dive, and are able to catch fish that are swimming and moving in the water when fishermen with all the technology and stuff have a hard time catching fish? And so those are all things that we're beginning to explore. Our students have done independent study projects, but now the curiosity is continuing to pour out, and we're continuing to investigate. Some of the things that have obviously come up is now with all that stuff in the nest is the idea of the food rotting and the smell and all that good stuff. And luckily right now the weather's been extremely cold. Yesterday with the wind chill and 30-mile-an-hour gust of winds, it was 0 degrees out, and today started off -2 with wind chill, and so spring's about 2 weeks behind. This time last year we actually had 80-degree weather there for a short spell, so the rotting isn't too much. But eagles and birds in general have a very weak sense of smell, which we're currently investigating that a little bit more. But the smell won't really bother them, but it won't be long until the sun comes out and these things probably start to have flies and stuff flying all around them and beginning to rot. The thing that really intrigued us yesterday was that black blob, trying to figure out if it was squirrel, just debris, whatever in the world it was. We found out that it was a coot, and most of us did not realize what a coot was. And to be honest myself, I wasn't even aware of what a coot was until I read it, and then I realized I've seen them a million times. And basically coots are a medium-sized bird. They're crane-like, not real big. They mostly have the black feathers and stuff, which is what we've noted there on the bald eagle cam yesterday. Typically dark red eyes and colored bills, and so there's an old saying, bald as a coot, which comes from this actual animal because they kind of have a featherless shield. And so not overly large bird by any means, but one that's obviously plentiful along the Mississippi River and all the river channels here in the Quad Cities along the Mississippi River. So a couple things that I thought were interesting about the coot, and I pulled all this from Wikipedia, was that they are omnivores. And usually I think of birds being more plant eaters, but they do eat plant material. That's the most of their food supply. But they will eat small animals and eggs. And they're extremely territorial during the breeding season. And if food is in short supply, after a few days, when they do have the hatchlings, they will start to attack their own chicks when they beg for food. So I thought that was really interesting concept there about the coots. And someone had shared in the comments, and I've read before, that the eagles don't really particularly care for the coots in terms of food, but it's obviously an abundant food supply. And so we've seen here now they haven't really touched it too much. They do love the fish more than anything. I think the main kind of fish that we see, there was 4 fish in there yesterday, is the shad, and shad is a plentiful fish in the Mississippi River and also in all the river channels. We've done some taking the kids out on boats before. We just cast a net in the backwaters, and it's amazing, just in a little net you throw it in the water and pull in, how many little shads you can catch. So they are all over. They're a river herring, and so nothing too exciting about them, but they are freshwater. They are found in landlocked freshwater. Typically they're gray or greenback. They typically weigh around 300 grams, which is about 11 ounces. And one of the cool things maybe about the shad is that they have found through research that they're able to detect ultrasound, which is pretty cool, that they can do that, which kind of helps them avoid dolphins and other prey that uses echolocation. So you start to think about how amazing nature is watching eagle nests, and then you start to investigate further stuff. How cool is that they're able to detect ultrasound to avoid dolphins and that sort of stuff. So it just goes to show, I guess I think of fish, I don't think of them being very intelligent, especially the shad, which we can catch with a net. But the fact that they have that built in, or that trait, is amazing. But the populations of shad have been going in decline due to the dams, habitat destruction, pollution, and overfishing. So something to take note of. And then obviously we can see that the eagles do love it. With the river right behind their nest, they can snag fish all day long. And some people were sharing yesterday that typically, at least last year, and I didn't see this, that Liberty and Justice would eat the head first, and then they kind of had a method to their madness. So that's something that we're going to continue to watch to see what they do. Haven't really seen much of a method right now. I mean, the heads are missing out most of the fish, but something that I guess we didn't think about it as we've been watching all these events unfold, but we will continue to do so. The other thing that I should mention is that the coot, going back to that, and something I forgot, is that people call it the river chicken. So I thought that, I don't know, I thought that kind of humorous, but there's that. I guess the other thing, as we talked about, is that the eaglets, when they were born, a little bit, they only weighed about 3 ounces, which is equivalent to about 18 nickels. So, or 1/4 of a can of pop. So not very big, but they'll gain about a pound every 4 to 5 days. And so right now, during this phase, we're on day 4. These first 4 to 5 days, maybe a little bit longer, the eaglets are not able to thermoregulate their body. They can't regulate their body temperature, which is why you still see the parents really sitting on the eaglets most of the time, especially with this cold weather we've had. They probably really got to take note of them. The last thing that we have, the last thing that we like to share here briefly, is that as they go through, you notice that they do remove the egg shells. So once the eaglets are hatched, the parents toss them aside. And what we're going to be anxiously waiting to see is the eaglets do some what they call shooting, which is they will kind of get to the edge of the nest, lift their butts up, and they will get rid of their waste by tossing it or shooting it out over the edge of the nest. And so they will not dirty up their living quarters. And so we're on the lookout for that. That's very intriguing to us. It's something that we just realized and learned yesterday through some feedback from people. So the last thing is on our project page, we're documenting their eating habits and journeys, and we'd love to crowdsource that and have as many people as we can help us document the journey. So we're documenting each day with blog posts, pictures, fact information, and as well as a food chart. And we'd love for people to help us out. So we really hope you consider doing that. So I have the project page located in the description down underneath this video in YouTube. And where we're going to be looking next is studying more about the shooting, looking more about the power of their talons and their strength, as well as hunting patterns and all that good stuff. So we've got a lot yet left to learn. So thank you.